Hey everybody, it's Monday. That means it's Marriage Monday, and it's good to have you here with us over at our place.
Welcome.
We're just
Yeah.
hanging out here at our house. Not really. Hanging out here at the studio, but
We have a nice look tonight. Yes.
you look nice tonight.
Oh,
but
thank
you're
you.
talking
I was
about all
talking
this.
about the ambiance that
Yeah,
we set
we've got
up
a little
with.
bit of a spread put out here for you guys, and it is specifically for you guys. I don't know what you're sitting in front of at home right now. Maybe you're sitting in front of, just a sad cup of coffee or something like that. Or maybe you've got a whole feast out, and you're here on Marriage Monday. It's good to have you here, and we're going to go ahead and get started. We don't know what week this is. What week are we in anymore?
I think 8.
Is this 8? You can actually tell how long we've been going. If you go each week back, you can see how my hair gets shorter and shorter.
We're insecure about our hair tonight. That's okay.
Yeah, so
What's on the inside that matters.
here we are. It's Marriage Monday, and it's officially the date night edition.
Yeah, woohoo!
Date night
I'm
edition.
excited.
We're going to be talking romance tonight.
Yes.
We're going to be talking getting in the mood tonight. We're going to be talking about how we can help you have romance and an even better marriage. And in that, you might even learn something. And if not,
Yeah, we hope so.
we're just going to get lots of good food to eat too. So, Marriage Monday, date night edition. And here's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Or here's our first thing we're going to talk about is foods that feed the drive.
Yeah.
Foods that feed the drive. What kind of drive
That's
do you
what
think?
tonight is all about.
What drive are we talking about?
The sex drive. Sex drive. Yes.
Yes. Yes. So we're going to talk a little bit here at the start about foods that feed the drive.
Yes.
At least
Or
that's
your
what they
libido.
say.
Yeah, libido is another word that
Yeah.
they like to use for it.
And it's kind of all these foods right
Yes.
here. At least that's what they say, right?
Yes,
So,
yes. Yeah, there's a couple though that are not that we're gonna.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But we're going to do some research right now, see if it's
Okay.
true. I'll let you know.
Okay, well, first off, it says coffee increases the dopamine levels in the brain, which increases desire and pleasure, and can elevate your mood as well, and also increase your stamina.
Would you like some coffee?
Oh yes,
Would you
thank
like
you
some coffee?
very much. I'd
You
like to
kn-
see you drink coffee.
You know, I hate coffee, but I'm going to fake drink. There's absolutely
good.
nothing enjoyable
That's
about
good.
coffee.
Wow.
I can't believe
I
that
always
something
make my
could
coffee at
smell
home, so
so
I
good.
don't get the Starbucks thing, but that is good.
tastes so
All
bad.
right. So
Coffee.
we have a lot to get through here. So let's
Yeah.
keep going. Well, hot chilies. We're
not-
not going to eat the hot
I'm not
chilies.
feeling anything yet, but
We're not going to eat the hot chilies.
Hot chilies?
And just be careful you don't rub those in your eye.
Why
But
would I
these
rub them in my
stimulate
eye?
nerve endings. So I guess food cooked with hot chilies stimulate nerve endings on the
see.
tongue, which releases epinephrine.
What did you
I'm
just
not
say?
a doctor or a scientist, but anyway.
It sounded like
No,
something else.
Anyway, which is another word for adrenaline, the chemical that increases your heart rate and
Would you like
releases
me to have a chili?
endorphins. Don't do it, which are natural opiates found in your body. Okay,
All
so
right.
that's great.
So there you go. That's apparently a
put that?
food that feeds your drive.
Yeah.
Tough guys
All right. So,
out there.
all right, we got to get. Oh, okay. So this one, it might be a little disappointing for some of you who think date night is.
Date night, don't you always have popcorn?
Yes.
I'm going to move this away from the microphone.
Yes.
Everybody
so
loves
apparently,
popcorn
and
on
also
date
in
night.
my family, it's got to be popcorn and a pickle.
Popcorn and pickles,
Yes.
okay.
Love pickles.
So tell us how
Okay,
this
well,
will
the problem
feed my
is
drive.
it will not feed your drive. I'm sorry. The chemicals found in the lining of microwavable popcorn bags and apparently some nonstick pots and pans, PFOA, whatever that is. But anyway, have been linked, they say, to lower sperm counts in men.
All right.
So no popcorn
fellas,
for you.
lower sperm count in men. Let's
Yeah, sorry.
let's pass on the microwave popcorn. That's
That's what they say anyway.
so
You
good.
can go fact check everything that we tell you tonight. But
I feel my sperm count dropping right there. So let's move away from the popcorn.
okay. All right.
Put the kids to bed.
All right, you ready?
We've only arrived at popcorn so far. Yes, I'm ready.
Bananas. Okay.
Bananas.
There we have beautiful
I've heard
bananas.
bananas.
Right there.
Right, yeah.
Those look lovely. They contain a bromelain enzyme believed to increase a man's sex drive. It's all about the man's sex drive tonight, it seems.
Absolutely.
High levels of potassium, riboflavin, and B2, which helps to keep your energy levels up.
You don't
Okay.
think it has to do with
All
what it
right.
looks like.
All right. Okay. So put that away. Okay. So
Bromelian.
I thought we were gonna get to eat some of this food.
Well,
So
you want
okay,
me to have a banana?
have some celery.
Celery.
Yes,
Oh, I
please
love
eat some
celery.
celery. I know you
Celery's
do.
good.
I know you do.
Celery's good.
We've been doing a lot of fasting since this pandemic started, and my husband's lost about 20 to 25 pounds. So
He lives off the
and
celery. No one told me that
oh,
celery
but anyway,
drives my...
so we're a little hungry.
drives
We're a
me.
little hungry tonight because we've been waiting all day
Here,
for this.
you need to drive. I mean, it can't just be
That's
all
good.
me. What's celery do for us?
I do know that. Anyway,
Nothing
it
like
says
a
here.
crunchy thing in a microphone.
It contains a little. Oh, this is good. It
Tell me.
apparently contains a little bit. I don't know what. Not a lot, but a little
Microscopic?
bit of a male pheromone called androstenone that women can find attractive
Yeah.
in men.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
wow.
That's right.
Okay.
That's what you need right there.
All right. I'm taking you home.
I can't wait.
Okay. So, I think we're starting from the least exciting foods and going to the more exciting. But anyway.
Well, I've drunk coffee and celery and held a banana and a pepper.
Okay, right in that jar are almonds and walnuts.
Almonds and walnuts. What does that do for me?
So
or you?
this is supposed to do something for women, so that's good, finally.
Gentlemen, did you hear that?
Prime source
I was going to say, get your nuts out.
Stop it. Prime source of beneficial fatty acids like omega-3, helpful with hormone production.
Yes.
And apparently the aroma of almonds. But,
Let me find an almond.
Is there aroma? An aroma?
I've taken my celery off. It's time for you to smell the almonds now. Take that. No, you have to talk.
Well,
but-
apparently the aroma of almonds is purported to arouse passion in women.
Oh, man. Have another.
You have-
Seriously? Haven't? Wow.
You have
Okay.
to be careful, though. I think I cracked a tooth, my dentist said, with almonds. So eat your almonds gently.
Well, that's fairly unromantic, but remember
I do
that,
love
guys.
almonds, though.
Smelling almonds.
Okay. Nice. Oh, I didn't cut this one up right over the avocado. Avocados are amazing.
I hear those are very
They are amazing.
aphrodisiacally,
Yeah.
sort
So,
of erotic kind
apparently-
of fruit. Why is that?
apparently-
Tell me that. I will show our friends at home an avocado.
Apparently,
What does that make you think of?
I can't pronounce any of these things. Apparently, the Aztec word for avocado is
A hulacata.
huacatl, which
huacatl.
means you can read it. It means
Oh, it means testicle.
yes. So anyway,
Really?
no, stop. Okay, so also
Really?
onto the more
We should have had two of
scientific things. The avocado also contains high levels of folic acid, vitamin B9, which provides body with more energy, and B6, which helps increase testosterone production.
Right.
Okay.
All I remember is the Aztec for testicle.
Okay.
Go out and get yourself some Aztec avocados. Highly recommended. Everybody knows. And by the way, remember what everyone says? It's a good fat.
Okay, asparagus.
I feel like we're being naughty, but we're not doing anything wrong.
That's true. You're
You
right.
know? Like
You're
we're
right.
not doing anything wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to grow up. All right, asparagus.
Asparagus.
Yes, that's
yeah, that's
right
right
there.
here. Got it. On the other side.
And
There.
oh,
What's this do
I
for me?
love asparagus.
Yeah.
So it has
Does that help us?
it has high amounts of vitamin E, which can increase blood and oxygen flow to the genitals. And
wow.
it has high levels of potassium, which is linked to the sex hormone production.
Right. So have asparagus, and you'll get
I can eat
oxygen
that
to
raw.
all the right
I
places.
love asparagus.
Let's get oxygenated. And again, is it just me, or do you think it's maybe what it looks like?
You are being naughty.
Well, but I mean, we just had Aztec testicles out here, and now we're on. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well.
Kevin's fear is that we don't ever really talk enough about sex, and we've promised you a intimacy class. So we're trying to really spice it up tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not so
which
much
is good.
fear.
What's that?
Like I'm not afraid.
No, of course.
Yeah.
No, you're not afraid, but you're thinking that
Got celery in my teeth too.
people are looking for.
What's next,
All
sweetheart?
right. Salmon.
Salmon. Ooh, we have some
So
salmon
here's
here.
a fork.
Oh, would you? Shall
I
we?
actually am really hungry.
Yeah,
So.
I know it. Everybody, talk amongst yourselves. We're going to have some salmon here. You want some salmon?
I
How
do.
about this right here?
Just not the skin, please.
Not the skin, but the skin is. Well, tell us. I'll do
Okay,
the
so
work.
salmon
and you tell
is
us
high
about
in
salmon.
omega-3 fatty acids, which is important not just for heart health, but
dear.
also for helping your libido.
All right.
By
Let's help your libido.
thank you.
I'm just here to help. That's my favorite thing to do.
That's good.
Is it? Salmon. Salmon. I didn't know salmon was an aphrodisiac. I didn't know
So
that.
apparently-
Although they do swim upstream.
I've seen them.
I've seen
You've
that
shown me.
happen.
You've
I
shown me
have.
them many times.
Salmon.
Or at least, yes, swimming
Yes,
upstream
upstream.
on Manitoulin.
Every spring and fall.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a spawning thing, really.
Yes. Everyone should visit Bridal Veil Falls in Caguan because you'll see the salmon. Anyway.
Stay with the thing.
Okay, but also for helping your libido by supplying the building blocks for production of estrogen.
Ah, that's
Need
you.
that. Testosterone and progesterone.
That's
I'm
me.
going to be eating a lot of salmon.
Progesterone. That's you. Right?
What's that? Yes.
Well, testosterone is you too, isn't it?
I'm
Women do.
53. I'm a little low on progesterone. Yes.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Well, let's see what we
Yeah.
can do about that.
Okay.
Wow, that was good.
Oh,
Get
this
some
is
salmon.
okay. So this is
Yeah.
exciting because we don't know if you're enjoying this or not, but
Woo!
we're going to show you tonight how to shuck an oyster.
I'm sorry, what now?
How to shuck an oyster.
Yes, milady.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I love oysters.
I'm
I've only had them like a couple
I'm
times in my life, but I
willing to shuck
think they're
an
so
oyster
cool.
for you.
Oh, but should we tell them first?
Sure, tell me
Okay.
a little bit about it, and I'll set
So
myself up.
first of all, there's a legendary historical figure
Mm-hmm.
who apparently would seductively slide oysters from his lips to his lover.
Oh, I need an oyster.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, it contains tons of zinc, a mineral important in the production of testosterone and sperm production.
Well, there you go.
Also contains dopamine, a brain chemical that increases desire.
Okay.
So why are we all not eating
Oysters
a lot more oysters?
For breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
All right, so let me show the boys at home how to shuck an oyster.
This is great.
I grew up on Manitoulin. By the way, there are no oysters there. How do I know how to do this? It's just a life of enlightenment that I have lived. So this little towel that it's good to put a towel around your hand so you don't chop it up because nothing ruins a nice romantic
No,
evening.
blood is not
Like a trip to
turn
the
on.
emergency room.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you don't need stitches. So, and you need a good knife. Their oyster knives are actually quite small, and they've got a big handle,
We didn't-
kind of firm.
Yeah.
We don't have
We're
an oyster
improvising
knife.
on the
We don't
oyster
have an
knife.
oyster knife, but I have lots of hunting knives.
Yes.
So I've just taken my hunting knife here.
You-
That's ugly.
Are
But
you so excited you get to bring
I
your
get
knife?
to show off my knife? You're not supposed to have it. Anyways, but we have also, and so this is called a gut hook, but that's for something different. But you can use your imagination why that is on there if a person is hunting. Anyways, not for use with oysters. So you take you protect your hand, you take your oyster, you put the heel towards you. The heel is the hinge, the joint
The
right there.
hinge, yes.
Yep, where the shell, yep. And then you take your oyster shucking knife and you want to really work it into the hinge, right in there. You have to be careful. It takes a lot of hard work. You don't want to slice your thumbs and your fingers off. And you got to do a lot of prying and sort of working around, but just got to be careful.
I
You gotta
heard
be
it.
good
You
with
got the
knives,
hinge.
right? So then once you pop it, there we go. Yeah, sort of pop it and then just sort of work the knife down the sides right
Don't
there.
do this at home, I feel like saying.
Actually, we're telling them to do it at home, aren't we? So, and then so once you kind of get the top of the shell off.
Good job.
Yeah. So then you got to unattach the oyster from the top shell, because oysters are attached to both sides of the shells, kids, because that's how they open and close. Both sides, there's a muscle.
Did you do
or
the under one?
oyster. I'm getting to that. So
Okay.
shell number one,
Oh, that's
there it is.
pretty. Can I see?
You want that? Mm-hmm.
Pretty color.
Then, and you get ready with the stuff
Okay.
you got to put on this. So then you take once you get this, so there's your oyster right there. Oops, I'm dripping. Boy, church is going to smell funky
Oh,
this
no.
Sunday. Then you just cut the oyster off the shell at the bottom. It's very easy to do. You just sort of run your deer hunting knife, your oyster shucking knife right around there. Make sure he's all gooped up nicely. And it's sort of, just want to make sure it's off there, babe. So then once you get this off, this is literally dinner right here. You don't have to cook it. You don't do anything. You
eat it
leave
raw.
in its juice. The juice is a really good part. Add a little bit of what, babe?
Some
A
lemon.
little bit of lemon juice.
And then if you like hot sauce, you can
Well,
add a little
it's
bit of
it's date night edition.
yeah.
Of course,
and,
we like
there's-
hot sauce.
because I think that there's.
And then
I think
this.
these are in the hot sauce, so that's why
yeah.
that's gonna.
Now this is for you.
Okay.
So would you like?
Oh my gosh.
Here we go.
Okay.
And this,
You're not gonna do it from your lips to my lips.
I think that would be awful all over us,
Okay.
but I would
Okay.
if these people weren't here looking at
Okay,
us. So,
okay, all right,
So
yeah.
there you go. You
Oh,
want me
you're
to
not
hold it? Is that right? Careful. And you slurp. Yep. Is it good? And
That
that,
was good.
ladies and gentlemen, is how
That
you
was
have an
so
oyster.
good.
And how you can do it romantically.
Yeah.
So I'd appreciate if you guys all just get out of here.
And
we
if
can finish
you,
off the rest
but
of the
Kevin,
We don't have time to
Kevin,
keep going for more
if
oysters.
they don't want to, you could always get smoked oysters, you know. at the
That's
grocery
so
store,
cheap.
Which I love
Cheesy.
them too.
You just. Anyways, so there you go. A little bit of erotic oyster stuff for you here
Okay.
on your Monday night. And by the way, if you got little kids who are in bed tomorrow morning when they wake up and they say, Mom and Dad, what did you do? Well, don't tell them everything, but you can say, I got a riddle for you. What kind of noise annoys an oyster? What kind of noise annoys an oyster?
Takes a second to get it. A noise, you know, like annoying.
What kind of noise annoys an oyster? A noisy noise annoys an oyster. A what now? A noisy noise annoys an oyster. All right, let's go. I'm going
Okay.
to put my knife away.
I think that,
Whew,
I don't
that's-
know if anyone was really into that. You know, I mean, watching
They got
you.
to see a deer
Yes.
knife. They got to see
No,
oysters.
that's, but
You're
they might.
paying nothing for this.
But I think the next one,
Get out of here.
the next one will pull more people in.
Yes.
Chocolate.
Oh, everybody loves
Okay.
chocolate. Are you telling me that the more I consume chocolate, the hotter I will get?
Yes.
Or the hotter you will get?
Okay, so it contains. We really should have practiced these words beforehand, honey.
You.
Contains phenylethylamine.
That doesn't sound good, but I guess it
A
is.
stimulant that elicits
Yeah, skip
excitement.
the scientific
and
words and just say
okay.
it makes you stimulated.
It makes you
Everybody wants
excited
to hear that.
and gives you a sense
What?
of well-being. Oh, but hold on a second. These ones in here are really good.
Is that really
are
chocolate or is
lint-
that just sort of
Lint.
lint chocolates?
That was really good.
Shout
No,
out to Mandy
you're
Meisner
supposed
who
to-
got me onto these. These are sea salt and chocolate.
But we're supposed to eat this first.
She recommended them. Yeah.
And then recommend that if you really want the benefits of the, you know, the stimulant, you have to get dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
And better if it's 75% cocoa. So.
Okay, so basically what I'm hearing you say is this is a waste of my time. I am all about being stimulated. I want
But this tastes better, so.
Really? All right, let's keep going. This is good. Anybody jealous yet? This is awesome.
Okay, watermelon.
Oh,
So,
watermelon. What does that do for us?
look, I put it in here to make it easy for us,
Oh, cheers.
right?
I
In
don't
here.
see any watermelon in here.
It's right there.
Oh, I see. And it, don't get me all revved up, girl. What were your many watermelons
Okay.
giving me? So, here.
It's high in citrulline, a phytonutrient that increases the amount of nitric acid in the body, which increases blood flow, blood vessel relaxation, and sexual arousal.
There's a lot about blood flow and sexual arousal in these foods.
Everything's got to be unblocked, basically, for things to work. Okay?
All right.
And actually, I don't have anything about this one, but I love these
What are these? These are called, they're like gooseberries, but they're called golden berries.
golden berries.
Everybody- but they're sour.
I love them because they're,
Oh my gosh, that's sour.
yeah, because they're, you know, they're from,
I think we should go.
okay.
Yep.
Anyway.
We're
All
having
right.
a great time here.
Oh, so there's another one that is actually not apparently always the best for an aphrodisiac experience,
So we're telling them this is not a food to eat. Kind of
which
like
is
popcorn.
really, really sad.
Add it to the list.
Yes, this is really sad, okay? Because who
Not a
doesn't
stimulant.
who doesn't love
Bad for sperm?
cheese? This is
Cheese is
aged
not good?
cheddar with caramelized onions. Try that.
Why are you giving it to me? We got to save the sperm. Whales.
But apparently,
Whales is really what I
and
was
this
saying
cheese too looks really good. So apparently, cow's milk, if it has synthetic hormones, can negatively affect your estrogen and your testosterone levels. So,
there. Huh. Well, you're gone.
but it's
I'll-
so good.
Well, don't eat it. You just
And with
got
an
done
olive,
telling everybody.
an olive. These,
You
there
gotta
must be something good about
Stick
these
to
too.
foods that turn you on. This is the whole point of tonight.
Okay, so pomegranates.
Oh, I hear
They're
those,
amazing.
Those are in the Bible. Yeah, Solomon was all about the pomegranates.
So
in
they're
his
a
bride.
superfood, apparently. These are
Superfood.
superfood too, right? I love these too.
They have sprouts.
So pomegranate.
What are the chances that people have logged off and they're completely bored right now?
Great.
Hey, everybody, got
Great.
a pomegranate here. Tell us about pomegranates,
Okay,
Lisa.
they're
This is going to
antioxidants.
put you in the mood. Oh, an
They
antioxidant.
decrease inflammation and plaque from building up in your arteries.
Ah, I see where this is going.
They help deliver more blood flow to all areas of your body, including your genitals.
Well,
And
now.
possibly, there's some studies that think that they are helpful with erectile dysfunction.
Cheers, everybody.
They should do a lot for how expensive they are. That's for sure. Oh my
Who
goodness.
needs little blue pills when you have red bottles of palm
Okay,
juice?
we said we were only going to do that for 20 minutes, and we're at 20 minutes. So I don't know if you want to do
Thanks,
some more.
Mom. Let's keep going.
Okay, all right. Strawberries, full of vitamin C, important for the production of
Strawberries.
sex hormones and
All right.
chemical
Have a
neurotransmitters in the
strawberry.
brain
And there's
to
nothing
increase
wrong
your
with watching your
libido.
wife eat a strawberry. But maybe I don't want them watching you eat a strawberry. But you know what I'm trying to say right
Strawberries
there.
are great.
Yeah.
And I've been washing all my fruit in baking soda. I don't know if that's good or not, but it really takes off.
Totally Martha Stewart right now.
Yeah,
There's no
but
reason to share that with everybody.
But the grapes,
what are we
I
doing
don't
next?
cough when anyway, okay. So, we're down to the last two. Okay, well, whipped cream. Apparently, whipped cream,
Yeah, whipped cream. Everybody,
there's nothing,
tell us
nothing.
nothing in
But,
whipped cream?
yeah, but
Nothing good about whipped cream.
no, other than that it's fun, right? And yeah, you got to shake it better, honey.
Yeah, well, hey, that's what should, no, I can't, there you go.
So there you go.
Yeah. Okay, what else? And you put it on?
So basically, the thing is, though, that there's probably
what's the good thing
there's
about whipped
probably
cream?
no milk in that, so it's probably not bad for you.
So
But it's
that's
not.
not, it's
So
not going
anyway,
to cause erectile
all right, we
dysfunction.
got to.
And what else
we gotta-
can this be used for? I've heard that couples use this.
Really?
Have we ever used this? I don't think we ever have.
I don't think so.
No. And we think we're teaching people. What do we know? Really? Would you like some whipped cream on
That
your,
is a very good point you just made.
What is this you're doing right
Okay.
here?
Oh, so this
You're
is
not,
pumpkin.
we're just literally eating
No,
and ignoring
sorry.
them now.
So this is pumpkin,
Good night, everybody.
which is high in fiber
Uh-huh.
and has some potassium and magnesium.
Woo!
Can help calm the nerves and muscles.
Woo!
Yep.
Woo!
Oh, and then a little cinnamon. Cinnamon is very good for you too.
That went right up my nose. That didn't go in my
Oh my
mouth.
gosh.
I
Sprinkle
guess
a
you're
little
supposed to do it
cinnamon
like
on
that.
there. There you go. All right. So for all the friends at home, we gotta enjoy a little piece of. I find that people either love or dislike pumpkin pie.
Oh, you know what I find? People either love or hate Monday night marriages. And you're not wrong for feeling that. But what do we care? Look at what we're eating.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
kings and
Oh,
queens.
that's good. Wow,
So,
that is very good.
should we should we fix these people's marriages or what?
Okay.
Or are we done? We're done this, yeah.
We are done
We're
this.
done this, yeah. So
Thank you.
anyways, here you are.
I hope that was exciting and fun. And apparently, one of my daughters told me that it's a thing to eat food and film yourself doing it. It's got a name for it.
Sickness of some kind, I'm sure.
I don't know what it's called. It was a name
In
like
this weird,
it sounded like
warped
another
world we live
language.
in. Anyway,
So-
so listen, we've already said we're not sure if this stuff actually is true or not, but we wanted to engage you or get
and
you to
have
log
a little,
off.
date
earlier.
night together.
Yeah,
and
so we're
just
bringing the
kinda-
romance.
This is a celebration. It's the last of our 4 classes on intimacy, so it's kind of a bit of a
Yeah, so that's what
celebration.
we're doing. But before we go, we should just maybe talk a little bit about, about having
Okay.
great romance and having a great marriage. In just a few minutes that we have, I feel like I've got whipped cream all over me, seeds in my teeth and stuff. Yeah, how romantic is it to have seeds in your teeth? Excuse me, everybody. I'm just going to uncap the almonds. There we go.
Oh,
Never put a
smell
cap
nothing.
on the almonds.
it must be like you have to crush it up or something.
Yeah, I'm also working my pheromones right now, so let me know.
Oh, well,
let
you
me
need
know
some
if
more
that-
celery.
Let me know how that goes. All right.
Aw,
So here's
thanks,
what we
everybody. That was fun.
here's what we are trying to say, or rather, here's what we'd like to say right at this point. So you go out, you spend all this money, and you get all of this food, and that absolutely guarantees, right? Guarantees a romantic
Fixes
evening.
everything.
This food
Everything
right
will,
here
yeah.
will just
Solve all your problems.
pique your sex drive, change your life, fix your marriage. Do you believe what Kevin and Lisa are saying right now?
No.
Not really, right? All of this stuff is just kind of silly. It's a bit of a joke, albeit some of this stuff's good for you. And I mean, we're all for unblocking your arteries and things like that. But we know that these foods aren't really going to change anything. But it's the way actually we choose to live. And speaking of how we choose to live, we just thought we want to talk about this just a little bit tonight. When it comes to our marriages, we choose, the way we choose to live in our marriage, if you can just stay with me now for just a couple minutes, the way we choose to live in our marriage a lot of times becomes our normal. Now, what I'm saying, you're probably thinking, well, duh, of course. The way we choose to live, the way we choose to let our marriage be, becomes what is normal, even though our marriage actually may be somewhat abnormal. The way we live
True.
and the way we choose our marriage to be might not be inspirational, but it becomes normal for us, and we start to think, oh, my marriage is good, it's great, it's healthy, when in fact, it might not be. And we want to talk about that a little bit tonight, but we've got an example just to try to make this point a little bit.
Yes, our new normal, well, everyone's new normal right now is very strange. And but for us, before the pandemic happened or really started, we were planning to sell our home, and we were told we needed to fix some things up. So we started doing that, and we just started, really getting to it. And then the pandemic hit. So, the workmen came, they ripped everything up, they did the best they could, but then they had to leave. And so, now our new normal is living with, I don't know, we're always walking over cans of paint.
Very
and
dusty.
all the furniture's gone because it was all junk and we were told to get rid of it. So we have this little rickety rocking chair and one chair, to watch. Don't feel sorry for us. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is it's actually, it kind of works, right? All those switches are half done. You said
we have switches hanging out of the wall. We have dust everywhere. It's
our new normal, but it's actually,
Most of you would walk into our house and you would say, what is wrong with you guys? Why are you living like this? This is horrible. This is terrible. Your house is run down and it's broken down.
Okay, well,
and
we'll get to it.
What's wrong with you? And Kevin and Lisa would tell you, that's the way it is.
That's the way
because
it is.
what can we do?
Yeah.
That's become our normal. And so that's the whole point that we just want to make. Sometimes in our marriages,
you adjust and you get used to it.
our marriages are just kind of covered in dust. Our sexual intimacy is covered in dust. There's switches hanging out of the wall. The hardwood floor is not really finished yet. Stuff's hanging from the ceiling. And it's kind of like if somebody walked into your marriage, they would say, what is wrong with you guys? What's going on? There's something desperately wrong. But we'd say back, we'd counter back in some way like, well, no, it's fine. I'm sure it's great. So we just wanted to kind of start with that example and say that we should, and we want to encourage you tonight, of course, that we can do so much better.
We all can do better.
A lot of times in our marriages, when we come to even Marriage Mondays, we'll say, the reason we're here is because we've got dissatisfaction in our marriages. But what we want to put out to you guys is this. The problem is usually not with dissatisfaction in a marriage. The problem is usually your satisfaction in the marriage. In other words, what you've settled for, what you've become satisfied in your marriage, the way you just kind of shrug your shoulders and go, well, that's the way it is, that's the way she is, that's the way he is, that's the way we are. It's a satisfaction problem. When in fact, you should probably be more, or we can possibly be more dissatisfied. So it's not a dissatisfaction problem, it's a satisfaction problem. We get satisfied over having low standards in our life.
Happens to all of us.
Yeah. So we think we can help you with that. We can fix that. And here's how we can fix that. That by asking this question over and over again, and if you gave a little title to this little section we're going to do right here, it would probably be this. Let us show you the most excellent way. Let us show you the most excellent way. With regards to your marriage, with regards to your sexual intimacy together, let us show you the most excellent way. Now, if you're part of the Jesus family, if you're a faith person and you're a follower of Jesus, that phrase might sound familiar to you. And that's because you've probably heard it in the book or from the book of 1 Corinthians. And 1 Corinthians, and it's right at the end of 1 Corinthians chapter 12. It's this little wee verse, tail tacked on to 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 31, I think it is. And it just says, now let me show you the most excellent way. And then you flip to chapter 13, and you guys know if you're, like I said, if you're Jesus people, you know where this is going. You flip the page, or you go to chapter 13, and it's all about what?
Love.
It's all about love. So the argument here is the most excellent way, the way to get you out of just the satisfaction you're stuck in to really high expectations for your marriage, for your intimate relationship with each other, go the excellent way. Now, the world that we live in does not encourage us to go the most excellent way. It encourages us to go the easiest way. It encourages us to go the most comfortable way. It encourages us to go our way.
Yeah.
And God comes along at this juncture and just says, no, take the most excellent way. And that's how everything changes. So here's what we'd like to talk about in taking the most excellent way. When it comes to our marriages, we have differences. And so we'd like to talk about that. Do you want to start this off or you want me to start it off?
Go for it.
All right. You should help yourself to something that clears your blood flow or something like that. When it comes to our marriages, we often, we all have differences. And what we mean by differences, of course, maybe some of you have heard this, right? Men, women. Men are from, here's a book, right? Men are from
Mars.
Men are from Mars. Women are from
Venus.
Venus.
Yes.
Became a very popular book about marriages and understanding the difference between men and women. Some other marriage kind of people will get up and say, you know, men's brains are like what? Like a block or like a single unit?
Oh, a waffle.
A waffle, like very sort of structured. And
Women are like
women's
spaghetti.
brains are like
all
spaghetti.
Connected.
So there's differences between us. There's differences between us in many, many ways.
And even personality differences and
Tons,
extroverts and
which
introverts.
You're an expert in that, right? So there's so many differences in our life. There's he thinks this way, she thinks this way. And a lot of times in our marriages, these differences become a real problem. And we just want to say to you, they shouldn't. But before we do, let me just share a little bit. For those of you who don't know us, we are very different ourselves.
So different.
Take, for example, just the way we were before we ever met each other, the way we kind of grew up together. I'm Kevin. I'm from the rural part of Canada. I grew up, I guess, without. Significantly poorer than the people around. Lived in a little log cabin, and I had to hunt and trap animals for a living and eat them and stuff like that. I was not a city person, let's just put it that way. That was me. That's what comes with who I am. That's how I was formed.
And I was, the complete opposite, I would say. Although I enjoy the country, I definitely was more of a city girl, I guess you'd say.
I enjoy the country.
Stop it. But anyway, definitely grew up more privileged than you did, and my family vacationed and did things that were very exciting, and Whistler ski trips and.
Where's Whistler?
That's like the West Coast playground of Canada, I guess you'd call it.
Yes.
Where the rich and famous like to. Actually, my younger sister on one ski vacation, she was babysat all day with Justin Trudeau, who is our Prime Minister of Canada. So yeah, it was just a little bit different than the way that you grew up. It sounds so strange because I certainly didn't think I was as privileged as you think I was, but.
Yeah. I think you handled your privilege quite well. But so we have differences.
Very different.
Right when we come into marriages, we have differences, of course, not saying anything you don't know, but also we have differences, and sometimes our differences bring about some really unhealthy stuff. So we just talked about differences that happen in our life, can't really control them. I'm from here, you're from there, this is the way you think, this is the way I think. But then differences bring about or come out in ways also where we start bickering with each other.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing well, you said this, and then the other spouse counters, well, no, I didn't. Well, yes, you did. You back and forth.
Miscommunication. Sometimes it's even hard to even have a conversation. There's such a different way of hearing and saying things, and this is something that we've decided that we're going to not let the new normal become, something that we're satisfied with, because it's hilarious. Like sometimes even the things that we agree upon suddenly become confusing and are things we don't agree upon,
So we finally agreed upon something, and then we argue about how we agreed on it.
It's crazy.
So these kind of differences, they can just make these kind of bickering problems. We're not saying that you have them, but we're rolling the dice and saying, I bet some of you do. And with these kind of differences,
life
we have to
difficult.
really be careful, because these little things in your marriage and in your romance eventually turn into big things, or these little things in your marriage turn into big things, and now you've got no romance because these little differences turned into big
just
things.
gotta work hard.
So remember, we're showing you what? The most excellent way. And right after that, the most excellent way is what? Love is. And look what's up on the screen behind us here. Love is all of these things, right? It's patient and kind, et cetera, et cetera. So how does love answer the differences that we have? And every single couple has differences, but love has an answer. That's the most excellent way. And so when it comes to love, true love, and that's a good biblical definition of love behind us.
God's definition of love.
True love answers differences that we have by saying this, and put on your seatbelt for this, but it answers it by saying that togetherness, being together, being connected, being unified, being a team, us against the world, has nothing to do with sameness. You don't have to be the same.
Yeah.
But you see, so
Good
many
point.
marriages break down because, oh, you're so different. You don't see the world the way I see it. I say up, you say down.
Yeah.
That really irritates me. And now we go back a few weeks
Trying
to
to
contempt.
force our worldview on each other and convince them to come over to our side, our way of thinking, it never works.
Yeah, and
Never
so
works.
love says about differences, you're not supposed to be the same. Yeah. And actually, so the message that we would like to share with you tonight about differences that you have with each other is not try to figure the other one out so much, but is celebrate. Celebrate your differences. That's actually the way it's supposed to be.
And I once heard that the couples who sadly have marriages that end in divorce often are opposites. Opposites attract. We always hear that. Opposites attract. We're opposites for sure. And with that comes a lot of excitement, a lot of sparks, a lot of good engagement. But oftentimes the couples who end up divorcing, who are opposites, remarry, it's been said, someone the same as them. So isn't that interesting that we kind of, through that experience of being together with the opposite, just think, you know what, forget that. I'm going for someone who's just like me, and we can get along with everything. So, there's nothing wrong with being the same, but I just thought that was interesting, because it's hard. It's very hard to overcome differences.
So love answers your differences by being, if you're going to be different, you're going to have to imply, you're going to have to engage in a lot of these kind of words, right? And most of you are different, and it's actually supposed to be a benefit. Yeah. Check your heart, check your marriage, check your romance, and see if your differences in the last few weeks have been heightened in your mind and are irritating you a little bit, when in actuality, the most excellent way is to apply love, and you actually should be starting to enjoy your differences. Now, I know there's some rolling of eyes, and don't roll your eyes because you know what that means,
It is
right?
a mystery, but
so
it's
love is
amazing.
what? Love celebrates your differences. Love listens. Love understands. Love is kind when you think the other person's difference is
patient. Is
frustrated. Love is patient.
I know why patient is number one, the first one on the list.
Love is patient.
When it comes to differences, patience is so key.
So put in the chat, just kind of make our point for us. There's some things we know that we're not seeing. When it comes to differences, what is the most excellent way? What are these words you see up here? Perhaps you can share a little bit just what you see is an excellent, the most excellent way to apply love in your differences. And we'll try to take a look at those in a bit. But we want to keep moving, right? It's already 10 after, and we've got to finish up all this food. So we've noticed that we have differences. We've noticed as well that we can get detachment. And detachment, do you want to explain a little bit about detachment?
Yeah, so after going through differences and not being able to figure them out, I think people get tired of being angry with each other, or tired of going to bed mad and, waking up, grumpy and not connected. And so we can just kind of have a silent agreement to just kind of pull away from each other, be roommates, live together, but definitely not have that unity that you talked about, the differences balancing each other, but coming together and figuring out how to really work together, engage, and really find that sweet spot, which is difficult when people are so different.
Yeah, this can be, detachment can be a real unfortunate problem that happens in our marriages. It's honestly, it's very sad, but for some of us, detachment can turn into a normalcy, where we're just kind of, oh, that's the way it is. I think we're fine. We're not talking really anymore. We're just two people going to work, living, taking care of the kids, but we're losing all of this. We're losing the romance. We're losing the engagement in that way. And love basically, when it comes to detachment, love basically says, no, I don't accept that. That is unacceptable behavior for people who are in love and who made declarations in front of everybody, better or worse, I will be here through the good and the bad. And so you can't give yourself this excuse to just go, well, you've hurt me, or I've hurt you, or I'm just afraid of this argument anymore. I'm just going to go to bed. I'm just going to turn my shoulder. But we're a functioning couple. We're just going to go through our life. Love just says, no, that's unacceptable. So
and I think the words, again, they can put it in the chat, but some of the words on that list, like hopes, always hopes. I think detachment, you lose your hope, and that's a scary place to be when there's no hope.
Yeah.
So that's not love.
Yeah, and we know ultimately love is, well, love is by definition self-sacrifice, right? And so love is willing to make whatever sacrifice is needed.
Go to those hard places.
Even if it's painful, to make sure we're not going to be detached.
Fight for your relationship.
So that's an important one too. So we're trying to show you the most excellent way, and we don't know if this is really working properly because we're just staring at a camera, but we're trying to show you the most excellent way.
I think we always say that.
Yeah, well, this just kind of makes you feel insecure. We don't know if there's any value in what we're saying here, but especially because let's show you the most excellent way, and we're kind of looking at some negative ones, and we're contrasting them. We're saying, look, detachment is not an excellent way, right? So the next one is dysfunction. And this is the last one we're going to look at in the time that we've got here. So we've had we've had differences, and we've got to work through those. We've had detachment, and you've got to use words of love to work through that to make sure you're not. And this is dysfunction, particularly sexual dysfunction that can creep into our life. And what we mean by sexual dysfunction for this context is not a clinical sexual dysfunction. This is not, we're not talking, and if you have this, you need to seek, we think, professional help if you have an actual clinical sexual dysfunction. But if you are not in that category, a lot of us can have sexual dysfunction slip into our marriages, slip into our romance, and it's very difficult. Once you let it in, it's very difficult to kind of get it out again. So what we mean by sexual dysfunction is that sex is between a couple, sex, it just happens very rarely. Any other ways you want to define it?
Or in a very just kind of maintenance sex, like just for the release, just to have sex, but not the two souls mingling together and co-mingling, yes,
that sounds nice.
And the vulnerability's not there, and the intimacy's not there. It's just sort of the action, the physical action. Yeah,
when romance, sexual intimacy is impersonal, that's what we're talking about. That's we're classifying as a type of dysfunction. If you're not having sex very often, we're classifying that as a type of dysfunction. I hear what some of you are saying right now. You don't know me. You don't know us. You don't know our lives. You don't know how hard it is. You don't know how hard we work. You don't know how busy we are. We get it. You don't have to tell us that because we can't hear it anyways. But what's really dangerous about that is love doesn't accept, the love, the most excellent way, doesn't accept even this as what's healthy for a marriage. You've got to figure these things out. So this type of dysfunction would be that he doesn't find her alluring. The man doesn't find her alluring anymore, is not pursuing because of Oh, sure. 500 reasons why. I work hard. I'm really tired. The kids, my hair's falling out. I'm a provider here. But he doesn't find her alluring. He's not making efforts. He's not pursuing her. And she knows it.
And that's sad. That's definitely not what anyone wants in a marriage.
Yeah. And what's the
especially
flip
as God
side?
intended it. Or, you know,
The flip side is
would
that
be that she's always sort of trying to get away from him, and he knows that she's not interested, and she's avoiding, you know, the whole thing. And it can not she, he. It can be he, she, the other way as well. You know.
yeah, yeah.
And not gender specific always, but definitely that's just a real discouraging situation to be in. You know, when God had created sex to be one flesh, we talked last week about bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, and you know.
Yes. Sorry, I was just reading. There's some
Oh,
great
yeah.
comments in here that are going back to the last point they were making. Thank you so much for putting that in. So if we're talking about these kind of dysfunctions that we've just highlighted here, at least in the context, so love has an answer. The most excellent way is love, and love has an answer even for this kind of dysfunction. And I don't know if you're ready to hear it. You should be ready to hear it. Love what? Love always serves the other. Love does not serve itself.
Yeah.
Love always serves the other. So you see how easy it is to get out of these bad, unhealthy loops, right? It's just, easier said, right? But it's actually quite easy to get out of it.
And we really believe that it's still important to have sex no matter what, even if you're feeling like it's some of the things that we've described. Please don't hear us say, well, you know, don't even have sex if that's what you're experiencing. But I think you can have, you know, a mediocre experience and be incredibly vulnerable and incredibly...
Wait, with me? A mediocre experience? Impossible.
We're not talking about performance. We're talking about
the male
actually
ego.
loving each other.
It's
like
a fragile
loving
thing.
each other. And, you know, it's I think last week someone talked about judgment-free zone. So it's not any, you know, level of performance or perfection, but just where you are actually connecting. When you're intimate with your spouse, you are actually looking in their eyes, saying generous, kind things to each other, laughing. If things aren't working, it's okay. You know, just everything's okay when you're both in showing love, like Kevin said, showing selfless love to each other, and being hopeful and trusting each other, and you know, just protecting that bedroom intimacy that you want to have, and just making that a real, like we talked about, a place that it's a work in progress, and that's okay. That's awesome. It's worth it.
Boy, that was awesome. That was really great. The final thing that we would like to just say or remind you or encourage you to realize when it comes to your relationship one with another, and your intimate relationship, your sexual relationship with one another, is this. Love does all of these things, and some of you are making really great comments with what love continues to do, even that we're not observing. But one thing that we really want to share with all of you that we think is a very, if not an ultimate, is like a penultimate point. It's a very important point, and that is that love always, in a married couple's relationship, love always is in awe of sex. Love is in awe of sex. And we've had to counsel people really over the years of doing stuff like this, where people kind of take love, or sex rather, and we sort of put it out here. I don't know if this makes any sense to you. Let's say,
Compartmentalize it.
yeah, so here I am here, this is my life, I do this for a living, I drive this car, I've got these kids, I'm married to this person, blah, 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 blah. It's your whole list, right? It's your LinkedIn profile. It's everything you are, and then you take sex and you sort of put over here. It's true, every once in a while, sex is important to me, and but then when I'm done with it, I sort of put it over here. It's such a foolish type of thinking, because we know we're holistic beings. The entire being is made up of this. But
it's almost like denying the way God created you.
Exactly. It'd be like me saying, you know what, this is me, and I'm just going to put my liver over here. My liver over there, or my lungs over here for now. We would never do that with any other aspect of our life, but when it comes to our sexuality, it's sort of, we place it over there. And I personally believe that it's because of this historic honestly, European Puritan, false teachings that has come for generations, and we now have this bizarre, either warped obsession with sex or warped revulsion towards sex, when this is who you are as a being. And if you are always trying to separate
if you chose to be married, it's who you are together as a couple.
Exactly, exactly. So
one flesh.
We're trying to say that love.
Can't say that enough.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That's a really great
No,
point.
no.
One flesh, you can't say it enough.
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure we really bring in that this is all God's plan. It's, God thinks sex is awesome.
Yeah.
And like you said, love thinks sex is awesome.
Yes.
And if you don't, it's a good thing to figure out and, get over that.
So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. That made sense to us as we were kind of putting this together, that love, the most excellent way, really views your sexuality with your partner as awesome. That's what love does. Yeah. Moves it from, I guess if we have to, or any kinds of dysfunction, or I'm mad at you, so love just consistently goes, us together is awesome and important and necessary. And I think you made that point in a great, great way. So as we wrap up, I know you wanted to share just a little bit about...
Well, last week, we had everyone writing in the chat the things, and it was gender specific. We had all the ladies writing, and then all the guys writing down the things that really made them feel connected to their spouse. And so we went over all the comments, and it's very interesting because themes came out for both, and definitely for the women. And guys, you might want to listen to this. What was high on that was to be listened to and to be accepted for who they are. That was understood, listened to, accepted, like you get me and you listen to me, you're interested in what I have to say. And so that was what a lot of the ladies wrote down there. So, and I was saying to Kevin on the way here, I was like, how could we get the guys to just feel like fired up about that, like I'm going to be a good listener, and I'm going to not interrupt, and I'm going to not try and fix her, and I'm going to accept her just the way she is, and be interested in what she's interested in. And so Kevin just said, you just got to keep leading the horse to water. I think that's what you said.
I did. I used that analogy. It's so true. But I do think, as men, we a lot of us, let's not say 100%, but a lot of us have this problem over and over again. We don't want to hear, we go, I'm going to go to another marriage thing, and I'm going to hear how I have to be giving, how I have to really warm her up, how I can't, it starts 3 days before, and I got to listen to what she says, and I got to give her a back rub and not expect anything. We start to, and
that all sounds so wonderful. I don't understand.
And there's a part in the male is like, I'm dying here. This is crazy. But
and not all males. We get into trouble when we.
Yes. Well, I'm in trouble all the time, as you can see here. But I just think, So what do you want to do with your life? You just want to walk around and resent things? Life isn't fair. Boo-hoo. Life isn't fair. You're supposed to remember the very first point. We're supposed to celebrate our differences. You've been put together by the divine. Not by accident, for a reason. You're not supposed to be the same. And if you were the same, you'd be irritated with each other even more than you are.
Yeah, that's true.
So celebrate the differences. Go for it in that way, guys.
All right. And then the guys wrote things down in the chat, and I literally tallied them up. And what one actually was appreciation and then respect. So wanting to be appreciated, be thanked, supported. Anyway, appreciated and respect. Those were the top ones. And so I think that's really important for the ladies to hear. And you know what? I think...
Talk to the ladies, sister.
I think, if you want to know what respect looks like, I think respect is when your husband initiates with you to have sex in the area of being respectful in your intimacy relationship. I think when he initiates to have sex, you should greet that with enthusiasm and, not pull away, but just be like, yeah, when, really be excited. That would just be so refreshing and I think make your husbands feel very respected.
Agreed.
So, and if he doesn't initiate, you initiate and be enthusiastic. So I think that's just, we can get so lazy in this department, and it's kind of like what we talked about with the renovations, just get used to what's normal, and some of the ways that we respond to each other after we've been married a few years are really very, uninspiring.
Uninspiring. It's a good word.
So
Like wilty celery.
anyway.
Uninspiring, yeah.
No, but that was good stuff
Right.
that we got to see that was important for, and I think really important for us. There's so many things that are different about each other, and we haven't even got into love languages. We mentioned a few books. There's so many things out there where you can discover the differences between yours and your spouse. But I think we're just reminding you. I think a lot of people know this stuff, and yet we can just be so lazy and not apply it and just follow our instincts instead of really being selfless and doing what we know the other person would respond better to.
Yep. So we just wanted to share those things with you because last week we mined, so to speak, we asked you to help us a little bit to understand, what it is that you desire, what it is that you want. And so all we did this week is we turned around and said, well, since you told us this is what you want, let us tell you back, this is what you want. So ladies, listen to what the guys want. Guys, listen to what the ladies want. Stop being frustrated about your differences. Stop being frustrated about, and stop being frustrated and letting detachment come into your marriage. Stop being frustrated and letting dysfunction come into your marriage. Hey, go out and buy this food, or don't order a pizza, or who knows, even if you have to, risk, what comes with this? The microwave, popcorn, erectile, risk it all, whatever makes you happy.
I didn't say erectile dysfunction.
It wasn't, that's all I heard tonight. I heard that over and over again.
You can fact check all of that stuff.
Yeah,
because
so what we're saying
we're
is
not experts on the.
go spend the money, don't go spend the money, but this
Have fun though.
is the most precious relationship you've got, except really your relationship with God. And we stand by that, right? Even the more precious than your relationship with your kids. This is the most precious relationship, so you've got to just be eager to, and if it's not been there, hey, tonight's a restart, right? Every Monday comes around, and what do? We can reset, restart all over again. It takes humility, it takes a bit of work, but you can do it.
And speaking about that, every Monday, if we're doing anything positive for your marriage, please also let us know. And that would be great because we don't get feedback, obviously, there's nobody here. And please if you could right now the Marriage Monday, that would be helpful.
Hit like on the YouTube channel. Also, if you could subscribe, we'd really appreciate it if you do that, those two things. So please make sure you do that.
Let us know you're out there and that we're doing something positive.
That's right. And before we go, we just want to let you know that next week we'll be back here for Marriage Monday again. We're going to change a little bit. Chances are we'll mention sex here and there, but we're going to move off of intimacy just a little bit. But we want to start talking about your marriages and the legacy that your marriage has. What is your marriage all about? What can it do? We're really kind of excited about it, and we think you'd be excited too if you want to show up again next Monday. We're part of Milestone Church. This is a great website, www.milestonechurches.com, and there you can find kind of this is what happens on Monday night, but we have something really kind of every day of the week, and we have worship on Sunday. So we encourage you to check that out and see the different things that are happening this week. We've got some really excellent things happening. If you're part of our faith community, we're meeting this all together this Wednesday night. There are some lessons and sessions tomorrow, Wednesday as well, Thursday, Friday. Fridays are really cool because we have a special town hall session on race relations and the importance of that discussion right now. So we have if you just check our website here, we've got something kind of for everybody. We talk about marriages, we'll do deeper study, character, life, all kinds of things. We talk about it all, and we just wanted to let you know about that. But that was, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of time with Kevin and Lisa. You watched us eat. How strange was that for you? We thank you for your patience with us.
Thank you so much.
Hit like, hit subscribe. Come back next week, see if we can't help each other together. And we're going to say goodbye, and maybe we'll shuck an oyster while you go away. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Good night.
Good night.